Kiran Kishore.
Still scared of him, huh? Hi, Andy.
What are you doing? I thought you were doing engineering, and
is lacking in the indie film industry.
What is your key?
it was freezing cold. It was -4 degrees. Dog love to all of you.
Who is Kesav Binoy Kiron? Okay, then let's begin. So, Kesav, again,
Begin.
I've already introduced each other. So, I think the first
Yeah,
question.
just a tiny thing. It's Keshav. The spelling is Kesav, but pronunciation is Keshav.
Okay. I'm really sorry for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Kesav, first question. Again, who is Kesav Binoy Kiron and how do we find you here?
How do I find it? How do you find me here? I am. Oh God, that's a very interesting question. Well, to say my educational qualification would say I'm a computer science engineer, but I am a cinema fan first, and which led me to choose a profession in this field. And I was always passionate about acting, which which drove me to do something about it. And now here we are. I am as an actor. Yeah.
Shirin, I think let's start a round of questions. Let's grill this man.
Oh wow, grilling. What did you think about the film? You all watched it last evening, I believe.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing.
Good to know
Um,
that.
yes, I really like the portrayal of women, and I like the way they were written actually. And I like the way that your character was written because it was portrayed in a very gentle way, and
Mm,
that kind of subverts the whole dynamic of how in mainstream media masculinity is portrayed, right? So yeah,
right.
that. I think Shirin has questions regarding like the film and everything, so I think she'll continue. Yeah.
Okay. I believe
You're
you're.
muted.
I'm so sorry for that. Is it audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like the first question regarding the film I would like to ask is that how does the experiences of the girls around Srinivas, right, differ from what you, like Keshav, around yourself saw when he grew up? Like, were there any similarities or like what was the scene?
Um, there were some similarities in a way that I felt while growing up. I saw. I never differentiated between girls or boys in school.
Hmm.
I made friends with both the genders and treated them very similarly. Maybe because I was very close, I am very close to my sister and my mother while growing up, which is why even when we were fighting, I did not hit my sister thinking that she's a girl. She was an elder sister, so most of the growing age, I was hit. She dominated me, and she was the more powerful one. And so there was never that differentiation. And I believe uh, it's when boys start um, differentiating between men and women when things get a bit tricky, and even girls feel uncomfortable, I believe, when they're treated in a different way, be it bad or good. They feel that they're
Right.
some other species,
Hmm.
and so I don't think that was there. I would not say I understood women, but I always um, at least heard them, and I was familiar with things or with the problems they shared. I was able to resonate with it again because maybe somewhere I saw my mother or my sister go through some similar things. So I was able to empathize, even if I did not understand what they were going through while growing up. But how was I differentiate? How was I different from Shri? I would say Shri was also very passive in ways, like when even at the assembly scene, for example, he does not act to it, right? He just stays quiet. He witnesses the entire thing. I, as Keshav, would not have done that. I would have been vocal about it. I would have been there with Mira if she was in my personal life while growing up.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Just I'm really sorry. Kesav, I'm just going to, in this chat of this very meeting, I'm just going to share with you the link for the next one. Okay.
All
Um,
right.
yep. So I've shared it. Yep. So it might abruptly end. I just hope to meet you again. We hope to meet you again in 5:45. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And sorry, you guys can continue.
Copy this.
okay, I think Rishi has the next question.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, sir. I'm Rishiraj. My question is, how do you think the film challenges traditional representations of teenage romance and relationship in Indian cinema?
Hi, Rishi. Please don't call me sir. You can call me Keshav. Um, I believe it shows a very honest portrayal, which it's not anything different. It's not anything new that it's showing some portrayal. It is as simple as just being rooted to reality. When I read the script, I thought as if somebody was witnessing this entire thing in real life and they were just noting it down as an observation. Which is why probably it connected with such different audience across the globe with different audiences because it was so real. If it was a hypothetical relationship or a hypothetical portrayal of teenage or relationships, I don't think it would have connected with people so much that it makes them emotional, it makes them relatable. Um, yeah, yeah, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, little informal question, and I'm just gonna divert the topic away from the film now. Yes, so it came to my attention that you were the vice president of the Film Society of your college. That would be correct?
Yeah, that is. Oh God.
Okay, what I wanted to know is how important do you think was the role of this society in choosing your career as film? Like before you joined the society, after you joined the society, how did you change? How did your perception of that career change?
Very, very, very much because the thing being, I chose my college by doing a research that whether they have an active theater society. And my second factor was that I wanted to be away from home because this 4 years I knew engineering is not what I want to do. I knew it even before I joined it. It was to keep people in my house happy and just satisfied with the degree. So I wanted to be in a space where I could explore theater, where I could explore acting, because back my high school in Bombay, I was not able to devote time for that. So this college, this society, it really allowed me to, it gave me that platform to completely get into what my passion was, which is acting, which is theater, which is talking about films, where we used to do exactly what you all used to do, that we used to talk to people in the industry and look for motivation from anywhere and just some kind of just to keep it alive, that every day you're doing something about theater, about cinema, and the hope that after this, after college ends, that someday we could also try and enter the industry. And what I did was in my college, we are only allowed to do for the first 3 years. The fourth year, we're not supposed to be part of theater societies. So in my after my final year, when I did a lot of plays, I did about 5 to 6 productions, plays. We performed at different colleges in competitions. And then when it all suddenly stopped, that's when I realized that when I had given so much time to a theater society of a college, when I devoted so much time and energy, then why not do the same for myself as an individual in for the outside world? And in when I was having these thoughts is when one day I just got this audition call, and that gave me the confidence, and I thought I have to just try and apply for it. I didn't know how to apply for it, what kind of pictures to send, what kind of introduction video to send. It was as raw as possible. It was pictures that my mother had clicked on a vacation that I have sent. Today I know that it's supposed to be a head shot, it's supposed to be a top shot, a middle shot, and the terminologies. But I got my first film without knowing any of those. So the confidence definitely came from the theater society, and the belief that I will be able to um, give my time, my sleep, my hard work to this field came from there.
Okay, if you don't mind me following up with that, so you've been acting for a while, it would seem then. You said theater rather than film, so that is probably where your calling was. When, how did you
Well,
approach
I've been
theater?
acting for a long, long time. I mean, from nursery, I used to act a lot in front of my teachers, and so to say that, I mean,
That-
even lying, I consider even lying to be an act.
That's where it all begins, no? That's where art begins.
It does. It does.
So, so how was your parents' approach to it? Like when you started developing, this is kind of what I want to do. How was your parents, or like I don't want to talk about your parents in particular. You know how Indian parents are. Your parents in particular,
Yeah.
but also Indian parents in particular. How do you think they look at this profession?
Um, it's very tricky. It's very funny that how it is so deep down in us Indian kids. The belief that our parents will be against this entire profession or this industry so much that we do not even have the courage to talk about it. I was like that. I did not tell my father, not even hints about it. My mother had some idea because I used to do theater plays before, so she used to know how much time and effort I put into it, how excited I used to get for a theater play. So she had an idea that, one day, and my mom is thoda easy on that way. She used to say that, huh, whatever you'll do good. So I'm not very worried about you. My father, for the longest time, he had no clue. I only told him about this when I finally got logged after the audition. And that too, he just got to know. He was like, "Kaha ja raha hai?" And then I said, "I'm just going out." And then he said, "No, you have to tell me where exactly you're going." And then I said, "I'm going for a screen test for this film that I auditioned 3 months back, and then I've gone through these stages." And then he was like, "What are you doing? I thought you were doing engineering, and ye kahan se aa gaya? What is this craze that you're talking about?" But then things started developing, and he started passively supporting me. He was like, "Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll drop you to the place where you're auditioning. You don't have to, take a rickshaw. I'll drop you in with the car." So things like this, it started slowly, and then he started seeing results, and that is when that passive support started turning into active support. And now is the time when I have to tell him, Papa, please stop sharing and forwarding so many news articles and everything to your friends, because they would get annoyed because he keeps on, he's so proud of it, and he just does it. For the longest time, he was like, yeah, industry ye hota hai. He had all these ideas, but now he's very happy, very excited, and yeah, yeah,
I think that's what fathers have always been more.
yeah,
Love is
which is
actions more than
yeah,
words.
exactly. And my entire point being that for the longest time, I felt that, oh God, I do not understand my parents. They just want to, of course, the security and all of that comes in, about the job security and all that. But they just want to see you happy, and when they see you happy, when they see you do good in whatever you choose, they are bound to be with you in that journey. Yeah.
Um,
And I think
Thank you.
most of our parents would be like that. So we just have to take that chance. A lot of my seniors, a lot of my colleagues, while growing up in school and even in college, they're so talented, but just because they have thought in their head that their parents are not going to give them a chance to it, they have rejected themselves. They have not given them that opportunity, which is not fair, I believe, because you're not even letting it out. You're just blaming your parents without even knowing what their action or reaction would be.
mhm. Abhishek?
Devanshi,
No,
Devanshi, I
Abhishek.
think you're. Oh, okay.
Abhishek wants to say something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, Kesav, I wanted to ask you, what kind of movies do you like to watch? Like, people have preferences. Some people like to watch K dramas. Some prefer anime. I personally believe I like to watch Indian cinema more. So, what kind of movies do you like more?
I'm very much enticed to Indian cinema. But Indian cinema, I mean all of it. Like I've grown up watching Malayalam films, I've grown up watching Hindi films, grown up watching, yeah, even English for that, the big ones, all those Marvel and all that. But now there is the curiosity to to see different things, to see world cinema, to see Kannada films, to see Telugu films, to see Tamil films, where now the Japanese films, Iranian films. So now it's like I want to take up all of these. It's a very selfish view, I would say. Um, Whenever I watch a film, it's very selfish to I want to learn something as an artist. I want to take away something, or I want to completely change my mood in a way. So I've started watching films like that. Like if I know a performance is being very well praised, then I would watch that film in the hope that I, as an artist, could get some motivation or drive from that film. But if I have to say specifically, I love heartbreak movies. I love movies that will make me cry. Yeah.
Oh, no way. Because, okay, I think I have a recommendation. If you like, I know this is like unwanted and everything. I just recently,
No,
like
please
last
do.
month, I watched a film called Lighting Up the Stars. It's a Chinese film. Okay.
Okay.
And it's about a funeral director randomly encountering a little girl, and it's about their story. And it's not hard. I hope it's not heartbreaking enough, but like because I don't like that much heartbreaking because come on, I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
Yeah.
that is a really good film.
Lighting
Coming
up the
back to
sky. I'll note it.
Lighting Up the Stars. Lighting
Up the
Up the
stars.
Stars.
Okay.
Yes. And I think you'll really like that movie. But let's come back to this again. And I have a question. You're
Yeah.
navigating the film industry. And what do you think as an artist, the face value of any film, like you're the actor, right? Should prioritize like the impact of given script or the financial compensation at which like times sometimes it clashes, right? Especially in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you think you should prioritize, the given script or the financial compensation? Because as an artist, it is really important to be, to stay alive and at the
Yeah.
same time
Yeah.
prioritize your principles, right? So tell me about it.
It's a very interesting thing. For the longest time, I used to figure out what I want, how to navigate it, because there are multiple factors. It's not just compensation and content. There's also the people involved. Then there is the character that you're going to play. What is that? So basically, the character that you're playing, the story, the people you're working with, that be it the production house, be it the directors, be it the fellow cast members, then the money involved in it. Then there is yeah, just how the entire story is, or what the message of the film, or uh,
Uh,
that kind. So
yeah.
now it is very individual. It's a very individual thing to do, and also according to situation. If right now I'm well to do, and my finances are not a problem, then I need not pick up a film that uh, that the only golden factor in it is the money. I can give it a skip if the content is not that worthy. But if what happens is when you're doing indie films, right? Of course, the pay is comparatively much lesser, and to sustain a career with that, as an adult, it's not enough. You need to have other source of income, and that's when the balance is. So I completely believe that I'm not going to uh, to turn off any, like anything, any one factor for a period of time. It's completely going to be when it comes to me, and then weighing in on how much of these five things, how much percent is there in all. It's never going to be that only one is 100% and everything is zero. It's going to be a
Yeah.
combination, right? So
All
it's
right.
going to be yeah, very specific, very specific. Like the second film I did, the story was very enticing, and Then there were other interesting facts, like it was going to be shot in US. So it would have been a very new experience for me to work with the Americans. Uh, so yeah, it's every project will have something very interesting, something that's going to excite you. But as long as
Yeah.
something is exciting you,
Mhm.
if it's not
Yeah.
exciting you, then I think you will not probably enjoy the process.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's a
you're telling me that we should like one artist should
Yeah,
coexist all of these factors together and weigh in everything that is necessary for them individually.
100%, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
have
and think of it as a big term and not just in the present. Like especially when where money is involved, I feel things need to be looked at a bigger picture,
yeah, yeah. I have a
which is
follow-up
why you
question
should
though.
never judge. Sorry, I'll just complete the thought. You
Yeah,
should
yeah,
never
yeah. Yeah,
judge
go on,
that
go on.
why do people do films, such good content films, and then do something very commercial. I think it's very much necessary to maintain that balance for that individual. Maybe not for you, from where you come from your the way your family is, if it's well to do. But you can't take those choices for the others.
Yeah, yes, yes. Okay, so I have a follow-up question. You have talked about the indie scene in India, right? And you have engaged in it. I want to ask, how do you think it is important and what do you think is lacking in the indie film industry in India?
Yeah, Divyanshi, it's too early for me. I mean, I'm just one film in India, one indie film old, but from what I see, I think what would be good is if more people start engaging with it. As
Yes.
simple as talking about it, as simple as rooting for it, as simple as creating buzz for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, more than for the industry, I would say for the audience to consume those kind of films, to make sure that there's a demand in the entire in the country, in the market, which would encourage then the entire makers and all of them to level up with their content, level up uh, uh, with the facilitating of films, indie films, by just creating demand. So it's what I would want is just for the audience to consume it more and talk about it more. Like people are so often they like to bash people, to bash bad films. Use that energy in appreciating a good film. You are putting up three stories bashing a bad film. Put up one story appreciating a good film. Let another person tell your friends to watch this film if you like it. So things like these, very small things, but I believe that's going to make a bigger change. Watch films in theater when such films come.
Kesav, so my next question is about, like, this was a multi-nation production. So how much impact did French production had on this movie, like script-wise, story-wise, and other things? So that's my question.
So this would again a very limited. I have a very limited sight on this because we actors we do not uh, tend to get involved in the production side of to know who is doing what. But I believe the French production producers were in charge of the grants that were given to us. Then the editing was done in France. So these things, but a lot of it, and I think that is how it should be, right? The actors should not be involved in all of these. They should be completely in the just focused on making the film. The production side is a whole different game, I believe.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
are you like planning to go on film festivals in France and all? Like, is it your dream? I will also have a movie in Cannes Film Festival and other film festival, and I will win that award with all my crew members.
यार ड्रीम तो नहीं है, बट अगर होगा तो बहुत अच्छा होगा. I would of course definitely want that for Indian cinema. It's lovely how indie films recently have been um, getting so much exposure and so much appreciation across the globe, be it Cannes, be it Berlin, be it Toronto, be it Sundance. Yeah, so that's definitely good because it's very lovely to see people say that, oh wow, we didn't know Indian films are made like this also. We thought it's just drama and dancing and masala. So it's a lovely compliment to get.
Okay, so Kesav, what lessons do we take from working on girls will be girls that you will carry forward in your future projects? And can you share some funny or memorable behind the scenes from the film?
Lessons I will take for my future, you saying? Is that the question?
Yes.
Um, One thing would be to trust the people you're working with. Um, Trust your director, trust your DP, trust your co-actors. You might not know everything, which is okay, which is completely okay. Uh, when you trust them, and filmmaking is a very collective thing. It's not a single man show. So they do a lot, they bring in a lot of things. So if you just listen to them, if you do not have any ego, if you're ready to unlearn, if you're ready to try different things, if the director says this is not working, you don't have to take it very personally or think that you're a bad actor and it's the end of it. You could just try something else. You could try something else, and if that's not working, try another different thing. And so I really take away that from me, that it's it's never an ego or personal thing. It's a group thing. So be ready to try different things. Be ready to accept that okay, maybe that was wrong or that was not good. Um, it's all we are all there to make a good film. So that's something that I would take away. And funny funny thing was, yeah, there was this eating scene. There were a few eating scenes for me, which is in the house. When you see the film, you know. Um, when I'm at her place and her mother is feeding me. So what happened was they asked me a day before, what do you want on the? No, they just asked me what is your favorite food. So I said I love chicken curry. I love Kerala parota, which is the breads you get in Kerala. So they arranged for that, and I was eating. There was strawberry milkshake after that. There was kheer. There was that one scene of kheer, the strawberry milkshake, all of that. So because I liked it and because our director was used to taking 10 to 15 takes for each shot, for a continuity, if I'm drinking this much in the first scene, then I have to make sure I'm drinking that much for all the 15 takes. So I was enjoying. I was like, wow, the strawberry shake is very nice. This food, kheer, everything is nice. I was just having it. And then after a while, my stomach just started paining so much, and I had such crazy pain. Now it's funny that I thought I was going to die back then, but I was like, this is my first film. If I fall sick, they're just going to remove me. They're going to get in a new actor. I'm going to lose this film. Uh, then I've literally vomited just before my take, and then acted as if, yeah, I'm okay. I have no problem. We can. I don't need to rest. Let's go. So that was funny. Then there was this scene, right, which is at the hills in the open. So that was shot at I think 6:15 a.m. or something, and it was freezing cold. It was -4 degrees, and my what I wore was something which was a white uniform, so I could not really wear layers inside because that would be seen. Preeti had some sweater on and everything or something. She was able to wear thermals, but I was not. So that was freezing cold for me, and my tolerance for cold is very bad. So there were warm electric blankets, but that didn't work. There were patches, warm heat patches, I think, which you put in your socks and all of that. But none of that worked for me. I was freezing cold, but we made the film.
I was this close to ordering some food from Swiggy till you said ki you vomited. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Quick,
I'm sorry.
quick question. How many times did you drink the strawberry shake?
Easily about 10 plus times because there's
And,
continuity. If your camera is there on you, I have to pick up and drink it and leave it exactly at that mark on every take for the continuity matters.
and did you like it? Did you
I
like the
loved it,
strawberry?
but I regretted it later.
Fair, fair, fair.
Okay, so now we have like talked about so many like food stuff, like the lemon rice you had, right? The strawberry milkshake.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
relating to the flame and Srinivas again. So in many instances we have seen that Anila, Mira's mother, gave like extra attention to Sri whenever he used to come at her house. and like the dance scene,
Mm.
or like serving him like extra food. And we saw that she asked her own daughter to do the work on her own, while she used to serve you, right?
Yeah.
Like, did Shri enjoy the affection given by Anila, or did he feel bad for Mira, like after seeing her position at her own home?
Hmm. What did you all think as audience? I want to know that first.
Like, I think we all have like different opinions about it. Like, I was thinking, like, even though he was feeling bad a little, like for Mira, he was not able to like express it in a through his actions, or like even verbally sometimes. Like one time he, like when Mira asked that, don't you want to speak with me? So that time he said, but like that was some, I would say, like not all the times he could express that thing, that he was really feeling
Yeah. See, the
bad
thing
for
is,
me.
when when I'm asked questions of something specific in the film about the character, uh, ideally I do not like to paint a picture because it's very individual, right? Each of your
Yes,
take of
yes,
the film is very
right.
individual according to your experiences, your personal life. So it's very interesting to see each of you having a different combination, which is how it should be. But since you ask, I would say what was in my head while uh, perceiving the character,
Mm,
but that necessarily not need not be what the director's was.
true.
So my take was that my, but of course, most of the time I used to clarify it with the director, and we used to be on the same page. But my take was that he definitely did like the attention because he was also wanting. He says that your mother is seeking attention, but he is also a big attention seeker. He it may be because his parents were absent in his he had absent parents in his life.
Mm.
You know, whenever he talks about his parents, he just says that now they're doing their own thing. He's
I'm
on his
doing my
own.
own thing.
Um, yeah, yeah. So then there is a parental figure who's of his parents' age, which is Anila, and she's giving him so much care. She's treating him like he could see it like a mother figure. Uh, the audience might not think that, but he could see it as an Mira definitely does not think that she's treating him like a son, but probably Shri just sees that as an attention, as a motherly love, which he really enjoys, like being fed. Who doesn't like being fed when he's staying in? I've stayed in a hostel. Whenever I've gone to my friend's house, I have praised the mothers so much just so that I get a bit more food uh, that day. You know, so things like that. If that was your question, right? Anything else?
No, no, like that only. Like, what was your
Um,
stance on it?
Kesav,
Yeah. So
I would
I
like
believe
to,
that
yeah, yeah, please
what
continue,
I
please
said about the
continue.
parents.
I just want to say
No, no, I
we
was
need
saying that.
to
Yeah.
end in
Sorry.
2 minutes, and I've sent you and mailed you the new link.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Perfect.
at the end of 2 minutes, it's just gonna end. So just join the new one. Okay. Thank you. I'm really
Okay.
sorry for the inconvenience. We did not have the foresight to realize, yeah,
That's okay.
okay,
Don't worry.
2 minutes.
Don't worry. It's okay.
And
Been there, done that. I will just say that.
I just want to add. I just want to add. You know, you're talking about Mussoorie, Dehradun. Our local Mussoorie lover, the person who stays there, Yashashvi Thapliyal, has asked you, how did you enjoy the place?
It was so beautiful. Again, my cold tolerance is bad, but I still really enjoy the place. It is so different from Jaipur and Mumbai, where I was coming from back then. And it was my first time there. The food was so delicious. Um, the cafes there, they have a very good cafe culture there, where you get nice coffee and there are those toffees. I'm forgetting the name. It's called stick jaws, I believe. It's a very cool chocolate. And I remember Ali sir also. He was raised in. I mean, he studied in Doon School, so he was very familiar with the cafes. Ali Fazal sir. So he used to get us apple pies and the pastries from his favorite places. and I stayed near a place called Guchupani in a good resort. So it was very nice. Yeah, some off days we used to just go around cafe hopping.
Okay, so you played an NRI student in the film. Srinivas was from I think he lived in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
So
Hong
you
Kong.
Srinivas was portrayed as this manipulative, slightly opportunistic guy. He's trying to like, but don't you think the power dynamic between Anila, the mother, and Sri was a bit uneven? That even though he was trying to gain favor because he did not have what he believed were loving parents and whatnot, is he not at the bottom end of that power dynamic? Isn't Anila's mom being the adult, being a host in the house where he's being invited, still at the top of that? Can't she also be interpreted as just as opportunistic?
So what you said is a very personal opinion. I mean, there is nobody. The director does not paint the picture of him being opportunistic oh shit, sorry, or
Yeah, it's okay.
manipulative as such. That is something the audience takes in. A lot of people have taken it, but a lot of people have also sympathized and empathized with Shri, just because at the end, even he is an 18-year-old. He's also not an adult completely as of yet. He's in his growing years, right? You all make mistakes. So, like you said, everybody has their own mistakes. It's about how you see them. Some people are not really forgiving. Some people have had somebody like Shri in their lives, which is why it's a very personal trigger for them, which makes them more angry at the character, which is understandable, which is so common in humans, right? And you could definitely paint the same picture on Anila as well, that she is also somebody like the words you use. Um, but again, at least I see characters in a very forgiving way. I see them as um, at least in this specific story, I feel that they have learned their lesson. They have they have realized that they did some mistake. When Shri is walking away without saying another word to Mira, when she doesn't say anything, whether when he asks, can we meet again next week? Um, he has he has processed that information, that what he said was wrong, what he did was wrong. Um, and at the end, he's also spending time with the mother so that he can spend time with Mira, because that's how they get to spend time, right? It's not a society where they could just go out to a mall and hang out. It's set um, in the 90s in India, where school you are not allowed to see be even talking to each other. But then there's your house where you are allowed to talk. So in his mind, there is also this thing that only if I'm good to the mother, that I can talk to you, Mira. Um, so yeah, I feel it's a very individual thing to paint pictures or labels like these to characters. Um, I personally don't do it to either of them. I feel even Anila has also probably realized somewhere that something maybe what she didn't uh, that Mira was not happy with it. And I think the biggest learning was for Mira more than anybody, that she judged her mother wrong, and she was not fair to her mother um, in all those days.
I have a follow up, and now we're getting into the so the film was very explicit, obviously, and when we were watching the film, a lot of the audience members, there were oohs and ahs, especially in the scenes where um, Anila was very affectionate for Srinivas, because it's easy to misconstrue that affection for something sexual. I just want to ask, is it a Western concept that we have kind of sexualized what could just be a mother's love, or just the love that an older person can bear for a younger person? W- Is that really is that something that we have kind of just assumed, or do you think that no, there was something a bit more sinister there?
I think I wouldn't say it's Western. It's just a lot of our polluted minds that we see it that way. Uh, which is not, see, honestly, it is not even, people are not to be blamed, because the entire film is what Meera thinks. You're never away from Meera. Every frame, everything you see is through Meera, is through Meera's eyes. So at a point, even Meera feels that there is a possibility of that sexual tension, or the sexual encounter between those two. A very small thought, maybe. Uh, which is why even the audience goes through that field. But of course, there's a big chunk of audience who completely indulges into it and sees every act of that, uh, associating that with something sexual, which I believe is very, it's a very polluted thought, um, according to each mind. But but oh God, am I missing out on the question, or have I
No, 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 no.
diverted somewhere else?
I agree with, I kind of do agree with you. Maybe it is our mentality. Maybe, it's like we got to remove that lens. I think Indian
Yeah,
cinema, Indian audiences still have a bit of distance to go before we can do that.
yeah,
Um,
and it's not. It's Arij. It's not everyone. There's a lot of people who have never even thought of, who didn't even think of it that way. But like again, like I said, there is a point where even Meera thinks of that possibility, which is, again, she's a teenager. Uh, every one of us at some age have questionable thoughts, and this film is just real and so rooted that it addresses even those kind of thoughts in a person. Is what I believe.
thank, thank you. Shirin, would you like to take over?
Yes. So, like personally, I watch very selective movies, like very selective movies. Like even it's like a अरे तुमने ये नहीं देखा है, ये तो कितना पॉपुलर है, things like that. But जब तक मुझे नहीं कि हाँ चलो ये देखना है, so I will not like watch it. Something's there in my mind. I don't know what, but I came up with Girls Will Be Girls, and I loved it from the bottom of my heart. Like, and what I do is that I don't like the feeling of the fact is the movie has ended. So to continue that feeling, okay, I am still in that movie thing. I will do everything like watching the behind the scenes to learn more about the actors, to learn more about the crew, like stuff like that, and everything I will do about that film. So what really I think makes Girls Will Be Girls even more special is that this film is the first of so many. Like you and Preeti as
Yeah, yeah,
actors, Richa
yeah.
ma'am and Ali Fazal sir as producers, Suchi ma'am as a writer and director, and this makes it so
First feature.
special,
Yeah.
and it's like it's so heartwarming to even like see you guys perform and pull off such a beautiful production out of it. It's so overwhelming to even think about it. Like it's you guys is first, and first is always special. So relating to that, I would like to ask is that you and Preeti like had to portray a lot of scenes, like emotionally complex scenes or even intimate scenes. So, as debutants, like what are the challenges did you both face to bring out the appropriate expressions in those cases?
Thank you. That was very sweet of you, Shirin. It really was special for all of us, and I am also very similar that way. That if I like a film, then I go into every interviews to find out more details
Yes,
about it, to stay with the film a bit more, and talk about the film to
right, right.
everybody, discuss about it. Um, what was complex was definitely the intimacy scenes were very scary, because I had never had the experience of even uh, coming close to anything of that in theater also. I mean, I'd probably, all I did was a hug in a theater play, but nothing more than that. So I was definitely very skeptical about how it would be shot, how much it would be seen, whether it would look vulgar, whether it would look sleazy. So many doubts, and then whether I'm going to make by mistake also, if I'm going to make the other person uncomfortable. I really didn't want that. So there were all these thoughts and everything. It was so scary when I read the scenes, so much that a lot of energy went into thinking about that, worrying about that. But then what really helped was, um, we choreographed. We didn't really choreograph it, but there were the exercise that we used to do for other scenes. We did this also as just another scene. Um, and then we were given the freedom by the director, to uh, to to talk about our boundaries first, to say what is not okay for me, what is okay for me, what should be seen on camera, what will be sent to the editor. So we had these discussions, and more than that, uh, Preeti and I were very comfortable talking to each other of what is fine, what is not fine, whether we want to do this, whether we want to do that. Just I think just the process of us becoming friends first and then doing this, it made it so much more easier. And a big kudos to the makers and the director also, that she was very specific that all these intimacy scenes would be done on later part of the schedule of the film, not in the first few days, so that by that time me and Preeti are comfortable. Because I have had an experience in my second film where there was, because of time constraint, that there was an intimacy scene in the beginning of the shoot, and um, there was one scene later, much later towards the end of it. And I could tell the difference between the first and the second scene, because by the second scene, me and my co-actor were very comfortable. Then that really um, gave us gave us that trust, and that just simple comfort, and that. So I was able to tell more in the first film of how much it really helped me and Preeti to do those. And emotional scenes, I would say, um, just being in those character, and just putting in that putting myself in that situation, in that exact situation, with those whatever happened through, that was enough to do it, I believe. Yeah.
That's so wonderful. And like a follow up, I would like to ask you, like in the closing scenes of the movie, Girls Will Be Girls, we get to learn about the concept of key. Every person has a key, and that's how different persons work. So I have two questions
Yeah.
regarding this key factor. So like now you'll be having like following projects upcoming up.
It would have been so cool if I had a key and I just like, yeah, I have a key, but I don't have.
So
Sorry.
like I have two questions regarding the this key factor. Is like you will be having upcoming projects now. So how, as an actor, like what is your key in choosing the scripts, right? And the second one is like we got to know from the movie is that Mira's key is no bullshit. Anila's is to give her attention and to praise her, like she has cooked good food. What is Keshav's key? Like what is that? So like two questions regarding key.
Uh,
Giving him chicken tikka
yeah.
and Kerala paratha, maybe.
Chicken curry, but chicken tikka also works.
I'm
But
sorry, Arjun, but if spoken out of line, I'll have him banished and incinerated.
no, no, please, you all are very sweet. Um, you're saying things like, yeah, just to follow up with a question. It's so sweet. My colleagues, when they were talking to other people, they were very not so sweet. Yeah. But to answer your question, it would, like I told Divyanshi about it, it's very situational and in
Mm,
that moment. But anything, honestly, I'm so uh, I'm so excited right now to work, right? To
right.
to to do things, that anything and everything I'll find something attractive in it. And my I think my personality is also something which is very, I look things at very toxically positive, like complete extreme positive. Um, that I'll find something good in every person. So yeah, I would look for something that would excite me, and I would go behind that, and that would excite me, I'm sure. And um,
Keshav.
what is my key is, Keshav's key would be to seek contentment, I believe. To just be content. To Yeah, I'm not excitedly happy, but just content. To be calm here. To be Yeah, to be calm.
That's really nice.
Okay, so yeah, can I continue?
Yeah, yeah,
Please
sure.
do.
Okay, yes. All right. So I have a question. I have like you have mentioned we like theater like more than thrice now, and I mean it's a must. It's a like what are your favorite memories of being in theater? And like what are like so, do you want to share something that like do you want to speak something about it that would like I'm myself am a theater geek. So the last
Okay.
thing that yeah the last thing that we worked on, considering I'm a literature student, it's like a bare minimum. So yeah, the last thing that we talked like did was like a round of Shakespearean plays. What about you? What were your experiences of theater? And like how did that accumulate into the acting and your character?
So my first play in college was, so of course before that in school we used to do plays based on Greek mythology or something. We used to make up plays and do it, but nothing on a big level, right? Um, there were some skits we used to perform. When I was in Malaysia for 4 years, we used to do some skits, took part in some competitions. Um, that's how, and when I saw the audience, that's what excited me to do this. That it started from that validation. At that early stage, it was not कि oh मुझे अंदर से acting करनी है. It was just because people were clapping and they were praising, and I enjoyed those things. But then somewhere later, it just changed into something more personal. Um, in plays, I've done Taj Mahal Ka Tender, which is a, a famous play in the Hindi circuit. उसका एक adaptation किया था in my first year, and rest of the plays that I've done are self-written plays by people from the theatre society itself. But we used to encourage them to write things and perform that. So yeah, that used to be fun. I did two two plays. Yeah, two plays as lead roles, and they were very fun. One of them, I again, what I remember is after the play, when I'm just standing there with the audience, I see people stand up, give a round of ovation and applause. So those that look is what stays with me even now, after college. Those praises, when people you don't know, right? When people you have no idea who they are, when they come and tell you that they love your work, I don't think there's anything more rewarding to an artist than that. Because of course your friends would say something good because they're your
They are your
friends,
friends.
but there is no need for another person um, to make that effort and tell you you're good. Which I've been very lucky now that people like you all have loved the work, have said good things about the film, about the performances. Yeah, so that.
Yep, I have a follow-up question to this. Like, there are so many great actors, Nasuddin Saab, Pratik Gandhi, Manoj Pawa. They are all theater artists first, and they always prioritize theater above movies. Of course, they do movies, and they love doing movies. They make indie movies, they make commercial movies, but they always say that real acting and the real hard work is when it comes to theater. So, are you going to just go on with whole movie wala path and go into commercial space, or are you going to go back and forth with theater and indie movies and commercial movies? What's your career plan right now?
Career plan तो बहुत बड़ा word हो गया, but right now what I really want to not lose touch of my theater, because I believe, again, there is a reason why they say that, because on stage there is nobody cutting your scene. There is nobody zooming in somewhere to see that, okay, now just show your face, now just show your hands. You are you. You are on that stage. I mean, with all the respect, of course, the director is telling you what to do. It's their play, what they've written. But on that stage, you can technically be doing anything. You could improvise anything, and the audience think that is part of it. But again, to sustain, you need both of these. I mean, to sustain, you need these camera and these money thing. Because sadly, in India, again, there are very few few population that actually consumes theater, who pays and watches theater.
I know we have kept you here for a long time. We'll start wrapping this up. I hope we have not bored you at all. A little bit, maybe.
Not at
I
all.
think that's tolerable.
No.
So one of our members, Sambhav Patnaik, has a question for you. We would like you to talk about the artist's license. And what I mean by that is, how far do you think artists are allowed to go when making their points? And especially in India's current climate, now that the people are being, even comedians are being harassed for, being kind of banal, kind of being, even for the lame jokes, the explicitness is kind of being punished. How far do you think artists should or can go?
I'm nobody to set a limit to anybody, to tell them to stop here, stop that. It's a very, again, I know many of my answers might seem very diplomatic or it's something, but that's how just I believe one thing is that it's very personal. It is my moral responsibilities. Like I would make sure that whatever I do, I would stick to that, to my personal moral uh, responsibilities and beliefs, which might not be on the same as yours. Um, which is why if you do something, I am a person who will not judge you because I know that in your books that is justified and you have your own reasoning to it. So I just want people to be more accepting. I think life would be much more easier if they're just accepting. You do your thing and you be acceptable to things others do. I think life would be easier that way, right?
And
So
okay,
each of them can make their own license and make their own rules.
small question before I think Abhishek, I want you to ask the final question. Just before that, small question. You said you were into Iranian films. Is there anyone that you would recommend? I've been getting into Abbas Kiarostami's work very recently. Any recommendations would you have?
ओ गॉड मैंने ऐसे बोल दिया क्या या मुझे लेटर बॉक्स में जाके मेरा अपना टैग्स देखना पड़ेगा कि मैंने कौन सी कंट्री वाली डाली है बिकॉज आई एम हॉरिबल विद नेम
Okay,
बट
okay.
आई सीन वेरी
Valid,
फ्यू
valid.
what I do is when I want flight is when I consume all the world cinema. I go to each language, which be and Polish or which be whatever, and I just click on it. So on my letterbox it would be there, but right now I wouldn't be able to tell you.
That's fine. I'm actually gonna hunt you down on Letterboxd and give you a follow.
Yeah, yeah.
Abhishek, would you please like to do the honors of asking our very final
Okay,
question?
okay. So basically, everyone has one movie in their life which made them fall in love with cinema. Okay, my personal movie that made me fall in love with cinema. I was literally 2.5 years old, and I fell in love with cinema because of DDLJ. Okay, so what was that movie in your life which made you fall in love with cinema? It- I didn't watch it anytime, any day. That kind of movie.
I fall in love with cinema every day.
No, but
Oh,
which
that's
movie
such a
made you?
that's such a but mm, something which I can revisit. Definitely, the artist in me loves Tamasha because that is so
That
much.
is so close to my heart. I really love that movie.
Yeah, of course.
Literally love that movie.
It is. Then there is Om Shanti Om. I remember watching as a child in the theater. I remember going to the theaters watching Om Shanti Om. After that, I had the audacity to button down my entire shirt, go to a restaurant, and just eat my dinner with just button down like because they're the disco. That's how much films used to influence me. I remember after watching Dawn, I went to a restaurant or something at for dinner wearing shades. So it's yeah, the craze has been for long, and of course I'm a big Shah Rukh Khan fan. So I love his films. Kal Ho Na Ho, and yeah, so many. Check the India. Three Idiots is of course again something that has personally pushed me somewhere. It just put it in my head that follow your passion.
Being an SRK fan, I love you, dude.
And recently Cello Show and Iruvar. Iruvar is not recently, but cello show I watched something.
Yeah,
It's
Shallow
about
Show
cinema,
is a
right?
very nice movie. I watched it too.
Yeah, I love films about films, and cello shows that Iruvar Mani Ratnam says Iruvar with Mohanlal and Prakash Sharma. Oh God, it's a beautiful film if you haven't watched it. Yeah.
Shireen, I think you should go. We first of all, I think we're done with questions. Shireen, please, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, so I just want to congratulate the entire, like, from really not only the actors, the producers, director, every, like, the whole cast and crew of Girls Will Be Girls to create such a beautiful production, and not only to create but also to get the fame, the recognition, the awards, all of it. And as an audience only, I'm getting so excited and happy to talk about. I mean, it's like, sure, it's like such a big deal for all of you, and you're like, all of you are soaking in. So, like, I've been seeing that the I've been like taking notes literally how like each and every day this movie and you guys are getting awards, and it's so special. Like, I just really want to say that hope we can get more of you guys, more of the more movies like this as an audience, because I think it's such a big deal, like, as like I already said before also, like, as not only as debuts or first, but also to gain recognition at this level, at a global level. So it's like very, personally, I think it's a personal win for all of us. I think as an audience, like, movies like this are getting recognized on a global platform. So it was like really very sweet of you to agree on this and have a conversation with all of us. And I think we would love to meet you someday in real life. Hope we can. Right. So it's a dream. Like,
How sweet, how sweet. Thank you so much.
so I
Because
Yes, sir, we would.
of course, Shireen, you have been a wonderful cheerleader of the film and of the performances, and it's a win for us if you tell even one person and they watch the film, right, and they get moved by it. If even one person uh, gets that personal feeling of just happy and content after watching the film, it's a win for the entire makers. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for calling me here, because again, you're discussing about the film, you're discussing about artists like me who's fresh off into the industry. So it really means a lot to me, to my entire film team. Thank you for the screening that you all have done last evening. Uh, because of course this kind of film is made for the young people to
right.
make them think, to make them inspired to make most things. Um, yeah, and go girls,
Yeah, let's
We would
go.
make
also
things.
like to congratulate you. You recently won the Show Shareel Awards, the best debut male. Congratulations for that. Thank you so much for attending this conversation with us. Uh, all I have is a request for you, which is just keep the conversation alive. The conversation that Girls Will Be Girls started about topics that we don't like to talk about, femininity, sexuality, the place of children in Indian society, in the society all over the world. Uh, Thank you so much for introducing that conversation. Thank you so much for being here. And just one, could you just give us one, for all of our members, if you could give them one advice, just one advice, what would that be?
It would just be to that inner thought that you have, right, that oh कि ये करना है, karo yaar, there's nobody stopping you, just go at it, just give it an attempt. Don't let any um any practical, any logical talks or anything stop you from doing anything. Just be crazy for something. That's okay. That's okay. And it's okay to not know things. It's okay to not know where you're going to be next year, after 6 months, after 3 months. Just be in the moment and take your chances, because you never know what decision could lead you to where.
Thank you so much, Kesav. That was
I just want to
wonderful.
I just want to say
Thank you
one
so much.
last line. One last line. Okay, is that I've just like our parent generation speaks about DDLJ and all the mainstream movies. I hope that in our future generation, the girls will be girls movies can go to such an extent, such recognition and such awards that we will be speaking to our future generation that let's see the movie called Girls Will Be Girls. Let's sit down together and let's watch it today.
Oh man, I love you all. Thank you so much. This is so sweet.
Big dog love
Before we
I'll
to
share this
conclude,
with the director as well. I'll
big,
tell her that.
big dog love to the entire cast and crew of Girls Will Be Girls. If you know, you know.
Big dog love to all of you, to people, all of you at KIT.
Thank you
thank you
so much. That
so
means
much.
so lot. We're so grateful
Thank
to
you
have
so
you.
much.
If we see you
Bye,
again, let's
Reg.
hope
Bye,
it's either on
Divyanshi.
the
Bye,
big
Rishi.
screen or again in real life. Thank you
Yeah,
so
I
much.
hope to. I've never been to
Thank
Bhubaneswar.
you.
It would be very cool to be there.
Please do come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Okay,
Abhishek. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.
see
Bye.
you guys.
Bye
Bye
bye.
Bye bye.
bye.
You.
Bye bye.